Welcome back to the Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And tonight, it's open mic, open forum, your calls. That's what we're taking. I know normally we do it on Tuesday, but I did have some heavy hitters on Tuesday. I had to get that show off. That being said, I really actually like the timing of this. I don't think I'm going to do it every Thursday. I'll probably keep it to Tuesday. But for this week, being that there was a Monday night game, it gives you guys some time to process what actually happened. Look forward to this weekend's game, which is another big game, right? A game that I'm going to be at. So I'm very excited for that. And just kind of figure out what your thoughts are, gather them, and come with some strong takes. So hopefully a Thursday show works out for y'all. I know we've got Thursday night football on, but you can definitely watch the game, tap in here, give a little love. That being said, I do have a few callers already waiting. So let me just tee up a couple things and then let you guys have at it. Okay, so obviously the 49ers just came off of a huge victory, right? I've said that victory was like 2 wins. That's how important it was. That's how big it felt against that team, a competitive Super Bowl caliber team at home, a place that you cannot seem to win. Really, your back was against the wall and you figured it out. Not only did you figure it out, but you dominated that game all the way through. That game was huge. It was a big, big win, especially after losing to Arizona the way that they did with the roster that Arizona had. That was a big win, right? You've got Debo continuing to break out. I mean, what more can you ask from this kid? He is proving himself to be a top flight receiver. You look at the receivers that came out of that draft. You've got Terry McLaurin. You've got A.J. Brown. You've got DK Metcalf. You've got Deontay Johnson. You've got him and others. He's proving to really start to rise to the cream of the crop with those receivers. And those receivers, all those guys I mentioned, are really, really good players in the future at that position. So the fact that Debo is starting to establish himself as arguably the best guy out of all of them is extremely impressive. And then, of course, we've got this Sunday's game against Jacksonville, which I get it. They just came off of a big win. You would think, all right, well, if they can blow out the Rams, they can blow out the Jacksonville Jaguars. Not so fast. They've got to travel cross country. They have a 10 a.m. game. It's 1 o'clock p.m. for the East Coast, but 10 a.m. game. And they're playing a bad team. That's usually a recipe for a possible disaster. But the 49ers' backs are completely against the wall. I really, truly believe that they are going to do everything they can to come out and win that game. I think they know what's at stake. So I do not expect a letdown. But don't be surprised if at least early it starts off a little rocky, little shaky. Takes them some time to get into that game before they eventually pull away and start to win. That being said, I've got 3 folks waiting, so I'm going to jump into the calls. If you guys want to call in, now is the time to do so. The link is in the description, and it should be pinned to the top of the chat as well. So if you want to tap in, you want to give your comments, your thoughts, by all means, do that. This right here is actually really freaking funny. First of all, what's up, Nick? Got to say what's up to my guy. Jamar Chase is in here. That's pretty cool. Tramp Stamp Jessie. This right here is a funny comment because I was just on with Jackhammer and he was talking about my love for Jimmy Garoppolo, which everybody knows that's not true. And I said, well, I have a tramp stamp of Jimmy Garoppolo, but it's fresh. It still has the cellophane on it. So I'll show you what it looks like next week. So that's where that comes from. But at any rate, without much further ado, let me get this overlay going for you. Let me get the timer going. And I'm going to start off with Melissa, who is a huge supporter of the show. She was the first one waiting, but huge supporter of the show. Love talking to her. She definitely knows her stuff. And I want to get her thoughts on this game, maybe last week's game, and anything else that's on her mind. So let's bring her on. What's up, girl? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm ready to rock and roll, getting ready to go to Jacksonville on Saturday and hang out and watch that game Sunday. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I just want to say that I'm happy that we're mostly healthy right now because that's like a refreshing change. especially with
Yeah.
George Kittle having touchdowns in back-to-back games, which has never happened before. And
Yeah.
it's
George Kittle looks really good, Melissa. Like, sorry to cut you off, but he looks really good coming off that injury. It's almost like that injury was the best thing that happened to him because he's got fresh legs right now and he's looking like the dominant George Kittle that we all love.
I'm sorry. Every time I hear the words fresh legs, I can't take them seriously anymore.
He's got fresh legs.
No, after dead legs last year, I just can't take the words fresh legs seriously anymore. It's just the two always go together in my head.
That's fair.
But it was also nice to see Jeff Wilson Jr. back. And I don't know if you caught it, but he and Juwan Jennings both had really good blocks. And the one with Jennings I thought was really cool because he like shoved the guy to the ground, the guy comes back up again, and then Juwan Jennings is like, no, you're gonna stay down, and he like pancakes the guy down to the ground to make sure he stays down. So
you talking about what quarter was that?
I think it was either second or third.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about. No, I think the second quarter, if I remember correctly. I think I know what you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, that's savage. That's one of the things that the 49ers receivers bring to the table. They're all really good blockers. And that's why not all receivers can fit in this scheme and in this design of play with Shanahan. You have to be a willing blocker and you have to be a good blocker. And Jennings is definitely that. All these receivers seem to be that.
And we had Trent Sherfield actually had a catch this game, so that was surprising.
Yes. Yeah, very surprising, right? My gosh. Okay, the great Trent Sherfield.
I have to ask you, because Javi's been mentioning it a few times now. If you had to choose which one stays and which one loses his job to the previous vet, who would you rather have playing? Aziz as the second linebacker, or would you rather have Talanoa out there instead of Tart?
Oh, I'd rather have Aziz. Tart's better than Hufanga is. So I'm going Aziz because I think he's better than Greenlaw. So I'm going Aziz on that one.
Okay.
Do you agree? What are your thoughts?
I personally rather have Hufanga out there. I think he's a lot better. I think people are caught up on this whole he doesn't have the speed that other safeties have. I think like Elijah Mitchell for the first few weeks of this year, he's getting a lot of flack for not seeing the field as well as someone who's been in the league for like 7+ years.
Right.
And they're all, especially because they were really brutal losses. So I think people came at them a little harder than they needed to. So personally, I like Talanoa Hufanga. I think he's had a few bad plays or he's had like one bad game, but I think each game, no matter what happens, he doesn't let it get to his head. He shrugs it off. He learns from his tape, and I think he comes back fighting harder. And maybe it's the sermon thing, but I don't think that it's wise to keep messing with these rookies by giving them playing time and then yanking them out and then expecting them to be ready to play again.
Yeah, it's rough, right? I mean, that's unfortunately when you're a 5th round pick, that's kind of the life that you live, especially when there's a really good player in Tart who's ahead of you on the depth chart. The cool thing to me though is that Hufanga's not going to not get any burn, right? He will play on special teams. He will come in dime situations, some nickel situations, depending on what they want to do. So he will still get some run. I just think, and I like both of them. I like both of them because they're thumpers, Hufanga and Aziz Al-Shaair. But that being said, Tart right now, in my opinion, is still slightly better, right? So, hey, here's your man, Robbie. He's still slightly better, right? Still slightly better. So I lean towards going towards Tart when he comes back. Yeah. But Aziz Al-Shaair, to me, has earned that spot, in my opinion.
I also wanted to ask you your thoughts on Charlie Horner.
Wow, what an interesting rise and, and fall real quick for him. He looked really good early on, made
Mm-hmm.
some big grabs in Kittle's absence, showed to be a pretty good blocker. But I feel like that blocking has fallen off quite a bit. Like he's getting steamrolled a few times a game now at this point. He's not really making a difference as far as catching any passes. I don't know. I thought for sure that he was going to be enough to maybe move on from Dwelly, but I don't know if that's the case anymore. I think Dwelly's definitely a better pass catcher. And if his blocking isn't anything to write home about, then I don't know why we would move on from Dwelly after this year.
All right. Thank you for answering me. I know there are other calls waiting, so I'll get off.
Are you there? Did I lose you? Is that me?
No,
Hold on.
I'm still here.
I might have a headset issue here. Okay, sorry. I'm working with these Bluetooth buds here, and I think I lost you there for a second, Melissa. Hopefully you heard everything I said.
I did.
Okay. All right, good. Did you respond or no? And did I miss all that?
It's okay. I said I was going to get off and not hog up the thing because my 5 minutes went, and I didn't want to keep everybody waiting.
All right, that's fair. I appreciate it. Melissa, thank you so much for calling in as always. Thank you so much for supporting. Glad I was able to get you on first. Well deserved. And score prediction before I let you go. Who wins and what's the score?
I'm hesitantly saying the Niners win. Although I don't trust Jimmy 2 games in a row anymore. And I still don't trust the Compton thing, but I am glad that Jalen Moore's no structural damage to his knee, so hopefully he comes back sooner than later.
Yeah, absolutely. He did practice. So hopefully that's a good sign. I also do not like Compton out there. That doesn't make me feel good at all.
But Urban Meyer's been so up and down this year. It's crazy. I guess I'll go 28-17 Niners.
All right, 28-17. I had it 27-17, so I like it. All right, Melissa, you have a good night, okay?
You too, and have fun at the game.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. Look, Steve, yes, you can. You just gotta have a little swag with it. It can't just be like a straight backwards. I think that's a little weird. You got to cock it off to the side just a little bit. Get that brim hanging out the back. That's how I wear them. Maybe Jamal wears them a little bit different. I don't know. That's how I wear my flat brims backwards, though. All right. Yes, they're better now. They're much better. The thing is that I always do the wired headset, and they just kind of get in the way. They're kind of a pain in the butt. So I figured out, all right, let's do the Bluetooth thing. But I noticed that they're dropping from time to time. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Actually, here I'm gonna go to Mike Miller, then you, Amin. That's the order. So that's what I got to rock with. What's up, Mike? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I want you to lose your voice during the game.
Okay, I can do that. That's easy.
I will call and verify that it's gone.
All right. Hey, listen, totally fair. Go ahead.
And let's wake up and realize what happened in last week's game.
Okay.
The Rams had a ton of drops. Matthew Stafford probably played one of his worst games of the season, if not in the last 10 years. He just didn't, they just looked off. I mean, their defense looked off. Everything was just bad for them. I don't think Jimmy G went out and won the game. I think what won the game for us was Jimmy Ward with them interceptions is what made that game go the way it went. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. And the thing is that they earned that, right? And the best thing that I like about it is that Jimmy Ward talked a lot of trash during the offseason. That interview, I'm sure, I know you probably saw it, but anybody that didn't see it on Grant's channel, phenomenal interview. He talked a lot of trash about Stafford. He talked a lot of trash about McVay, and he came in and backed all of it up. Every single bit of it, he backed up. That's what I love to see. his first pick since like 2016, and he had 2 in the game. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, he doubled his pick total for 8 years.
Yeah,
He only had two.
Yeah,
He only had 2 picks the first
right.
almost 7.5 years, and then to have 2 in one game. Yeah, I think that's what caused the game to go the way it did. I don't think the 180 some yards Jimmy passed for, really destroyed the Rams. In my book, I mean, Matthew Stafford just looked horrible. He was missing passes. I mean, drop passes. I mean, just a lot of the passes that were dropped were behind players and all kinds of stuff. So, I don't think Jimmy won that game for us. The defense won it for us. The run game won it for us. Jimmy was just along for the ride, in my book.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? Like that's the whole Jimmy thing, is that he's been fine. Like, he's not the reason that they've lost. He's certainly not the reason that they're going to win. He's been fine. He's cool, but ultimately he needs a lot of help to win these games. And that's why ultimately Trey Lance is here, because Trey Lance brings more to the table. Maybe not now, but in the future, Trey Lance is going to bring a lot more to the table as long as he's developed right. But he's going to be that dude.
Developed right, neither, but that's beside the point. I just don't think the Niners are treating him like they should have. In my book, you draft somebody 3rd overall, you kick Jimmy out, put him in the streets. You start Trey Lance from day one. You build around him. You have a future that way. Right now, we wasted a full season on building his future, in my opinion. But back to what the first caller said, Hufanga is way better than Turj.
You think so?
I believe so wholeheartedly, because when Hufanga comes up to make a tackle, your ass is tackled. He ain't going to
I agree with that.
He don't miss tackles, and he's always in the play. Also, if you want to set a linebacker, I wouldn't set what's his name coming back, Greenlaw. I set Fred. Fred ain't played up to his standards. Azir has outplayed Fred by far, in my book. Just saying. I know they're not going to set Fred, but if you were going to play who's actually balling out, Greenlaw has outballed him in the first game that he played and the only game he's played this season. And Azir has whooped Fred Warner, made him look bad all season long, in my book.
Yeah, well, listen, that they're not going to sit Fred, but if you're looking at, I mean, let's just call a spade, whether it's PFF or whatever grading system you want to look at, Azeez Al-Shaair he's had a really good season. He's the highest graded linebacker on this team, and Greenlaw was graded high before he left. So yeah, and Fred even said it. That's what I love about Fred, is that he is a leader, and he will come out and he will say, hey, I'm not playing up to snuff. And he knows it. And I love that. I love that out of him. Not all players will take accountability that way.
I don't look at PFF or any other grades. I just look at, I hear Azir's name way more than Fred Warner's name during a game. And I mean, almost double. That tells you who's making the plays.
Yeah.
All right.
Fred Warner, well, hold on a second. So Fred Warner, he's been out of position a lot this season. That does show up on film quite a bit. What's your score prediction for Sunday?
I hope we lose, because I want, but we're not going to lose, because I want Trey Lance to start. I want him to get playing time and all that. That's what my heart says is best for the team. But we're going to kill them. I'm going to say 27-17.
Okay. I like
Somebody
it.
else
I like
said
it.
that
I like
earlier.
it.
I don't know who it was. But...
Yeah. Oh, that's my score prediction as well. I'm right there with you. So good vibes. We got it. 27-17. Yeah. Lock it in. I'll be there. I'll make it happen.
When I call you, I better not hear nothing.
Listen, no voice. I'm going to lose it. I'll do my best to lose the voice. Nick's going to be there. He can verify. He'll verify with everybody if I lost it or not. So here we go.
Go live with your cell phone at the start of the game for us. All right.
I love it. I will, man. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Later. Hold on a second. So JC Montana said that Jimmy made some good throws. Yeah, absolutely. No, Jimmy's been fine. Jimmy's not the reason that they're losing. Like I said, he's not the reason that they're winning. He was good. He was fine. He made some really good throws in that game. Not taking anything away from Jimmy. He was fine. So All right. I got the young legend coming in. That actually should be your new name. YUNG legend, young legend, Amin the Dream. What's going on, man?
What up, man?
I just gave you a rapper name. You're welcome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm double.
You
I'm
just
double
had
tapping
a
right
stream too, didn't you? A little bit ago.
now. Yeah, with Eric
All
Hawker.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope.
I'm multitasking right now. I'm playing Madden and doing this right now because I have nothing else to do.
Oh, well, don't make me lose the game for you. I don't want that to happen.
No, I'm not. I just got an interception, with the Bills right now. So
There you go.
I just want to get your thoughts real quick on that whole Mac Jones and Trey situation because I went on Jackhammer show yesterday on Tuesday and we went into like a little 10-minute debate about this. What's your whole thoughts on this? Because I've been hearing a majority of the Niners fan base. On my show, I said it with Ben Myerson yesterday. It's like majority of the fan base is on like Mac Jones should have been the pick at number 3 when pre-draft. Majority of the Niner fans were like, "Do not draft Mac Jones. Do not draft Mac Jones." And then now that he's doing good in New England, everybody's like, "The Niners should have taken Mac Jones." So, what's your whole thoughts on that situation?
I'm not swaying. I mean, come on. I'm the Trey Lance leader of the bandwagon. So I'm definitely not swaying. Here's the deal. Mac Jones has been good. Mac Jones is going to be a pro for a long time. I think that Mac Jones can top out at, let's say, the 12th best quarterback in the league. There's no shame in that. That's a good player, right? Mac Jones can be a good player. That being said, Trey Lance, to me, with the ability, the brain, the hunger, everything all in, I feel like he can be a top 7 to top 5 quarterback. And that's what the difference is. And that's ultimately what you're looking for. When you draft a guy at 3, that's what you're looking for. You can't play it safe. You can't trade all that capital and then play it safe when you get up there and go with a guy like Mac Jones. Now, if you stayed at 12, sure, Mac Jones would have been a fine pick. But you have to swing for the fences. Whether it works out or it doesn't, they made the right pick. And I'll never move off that. I'll kill Shanahan and Lynch for a lot of things. This pick right here, I'm not going to kill them for it. Now, did they give up too much capital? That's debatable.
You could say that.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
For sure. But once you're there, they picked the right player. Oh, no, I lost Amin. But my thought is, Amin, if you want to call back in, I'll get you back on. But my thought with that is they picked the right player. No question about it. Mac Jones is a fine player. Justin Fields will probably be pretty good. But for me, they absolutely picked the right player. So, no, I'm not swaying. What are your thoughts on that, Amin?
So, I still think it was the right pick, right? Because obviously you draft when you trade it up to 3, you're trying to get a guy who has high upside. Where with Mac Jones, you don't necessarily get that. Mac Jones, you can win football against, and we're seeing that in New England. But Mac Jones, in my opinion, doesn't have the potential to be a top 10, top 5 quarterback down the road. And I've said that on Jack's show. I've said that multiple times, especially this week because I've been hearing about it all over Twitter. Now, with Trey Lance, I feel like we're seeing Mac Jones play, and we're not seeing Trey Lance play. So, like, the fact that people can say that and be like, you know what, they're not taking Mac Jones. I'm like, you guys haven't even seen Trey Lance play besides one start. Trey Lance hasn't played the whole season. He hasn't been the starter. We sing Mac Jones, yeah. So we understand Mac Jones is doing good. He's in a perfect situation for him, but Trey Lance isn't even playing. So, like, I don't understand how we're so quick to judge and make that, like, opinion and say, like, you know what, Mac Jones should have been the pick at number 3. When especially Niners fans didn't want him in the beginning, especially pre-draft. I remember everybody said the Niners should not draft Mac Jones. And it was relief when the Niners took Trey Lance beside not Mac Jones. Because everybody said, Adam Schefter, all those guys said, you know what, the Niners are most likely taking Mac Jones. All the mock drafts, the Niners are going to take Mac Jones. So it was a relief when they didn't take Mac Jones, but the Niners were right for picking Trey Lance. Even let's say Trey Lance doesn't work out, at the time when you look at when they drafted Trey Lance, it was the right pick because you draft a guy based off the upside, where with Mac Jones, you don't have that upside. And the fact that people are saying, you know what, they should have drafted Mac Jones because Trey Lance isn't playing and you see Mac Jones balling out in New England and winning games, like, no, that doesn't sit right with me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Steve-O in the chat, chill with that stuff, man. I'm not going to allow that. I appreciate it. You support me. You're a little loose with the lips there sometimes. I don't mind a little trash talk or whatever when all in fun, but I'm not having all that. So chill with that shit. But yeah, listen, I agree with you. Here's the thing that people got to consider. He's still 21 years old. Mac Jones is 23. Okay. Mac Jones had his college season, his really good college season at 22 years old. At that point, Trey Lance will be in year 2 in the NFL. So when he's 23, he'll be in year 3 of the NFL. Let's see him at 23 versus Mac Jones at 23. You know what I mean? So that's the way that I look at that.
Like Lance has the potential to be a top 10, top 5 quarterback down the road if developed properly. Whereas Mac Jones, you can win football games with Mac Jones, but like, number one, how much the Niners give up for him? Why would you want a guy who's just younger and a little bit better at processing things when you, like, just for Mac Jones, when you give up that much? No, like, you can get a guy in Trey Lance. But we'll see how Trey Lance turns out. But speaking on the Rams game, now, when people say Jimmy didn't play well, I'm not a Jimmy fan. Me and you, but I'm one of the biggest Jimmy haters. Like, I've done from the beginning, I've been one of those biggest Jimmy haters. 2017, great season. I was a fan. Probably the majority of the Niner fan base was a fan. But since after that, the 18 injury and the 2019 season was great. But I'll give Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit props because he made the throws. He did enough to win the game. He didn't win the game for us. He did not do anything like Russell Wilson where he put the game on his back and he won us the football game and he beat the Rams and he did something heroic. No. The defense played well. Jimmy Ward had his interceptions, but Jimmy did enough for us to win the game against the Rams. He didn't win us the game. He didn't lose us the game, but he did enough to win the game.
That's what Jimmy does, right? Most of the time, he's a net zero quarterback. He's not going to win it. He's not going to lose it. I will say this. He had some really, really good throws in that game. And if you go look at the throw chart, it definitely doesn't do him any justice because it looks like the same old Jimmy game. But when you look at the actual ball placement, it was good.
Fourth down, 4th and 6, pass rush is coming, making a throw like that. That was a good pass. Now, Jimmy obviously is not. You shouldn't bring him back after this year. He shouldn't be your future of the Niners, but did he make good throws? Did he do enough to win this game? Yeah, he did enough to win this game. The defense obviously helped him out, Jimmy Ward with this interception, but Jimmy Garoppolo made the throws, and he did enough for us to win this game. And now speaking on Jacksonville, now I hear what you're saying about Jacksonville. It's an early game, but like we remember, I don't know if we remember like when we were saying, Detroit might be a little bit of a tough game. Detroit was way closer than it should have been. But we were blowing out Detroit pretty much the first 4 quarters. 4 quarters, we're pretty much blowing out Detroit until the end. We were blowing out Detroit. So, like, my whole thing is, like, we know the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't a good football team. So, I don't know why Niners fans are trickling, like, we might lose to Jacksonville. Because Jacksonville just straight up isn't a good team. The offensive line is horrible. The defense is not that great. You see Trevor Lawrence running for his life every play. The pass rush is not the 2019 pass rush, but the pass rush can still do some damage because that offensive line isn't that good. And even, like, you see, like I said, like, you see Trevor Lawrence running every damn play. So, like, I don't think that Jacksonville matchup is going to be – I definitely think it's an easy win for us. It's not one of those games where I think we're going to lose.
Yeah. Well, okay, let's end it here because you sound like a robot. It's hilarious. Wait till you go back and listen to this. But we got through it. We heard, for the most part, what you were saying. That being said, the only thing that worries me a little bit about them is that they do have a good defense. You go look at the last 3 weeks, the way that they held down Buffalo. I think it was Buffalo, Seattle, and I forget who the last game was against, but all 3 of those teams, they held to around 300 or less than 300 Colts, around or less than 300 total yards of offense. So their defense is coming alive a little bit, and being at home, to me, it's more the factors going into it, coming off an emotional win, traveling cross country on a short week, and playing the early game. That factors in just as much as the actual opponent to me. And that's why I think it'll be a little tough. Do I think that they'll lose? No, I don't. I definitely don't think they'll lose. That being said, I think it'll be a little bit tougher than what you're expecting. I could be wrong, though. I hope I'm wrong.
I don't know, man. We said the same thing about Detroit. 10 o'clock game, what if we lose in Detroit? Detroit, the Niners struggled week 1. That was a blowout pretty much the first 4 quarters into.
To be fair though, how much I know I did. Did you think they were going to beat the tar out of Arizona with all those backups in? I did. That didn't happen. So you just never know in this league.
I mean, Arizona's still a way better coached team, and they still have some pieces. They still had a Chandler Jones.
What about Washington? What about Washington versus Tampa? Did you see that coming?
No. But Washington still has a pretty darn good defense.
They do. But they lost Chase Young. They lost Chase Young early in that game. So you know what I mean.
Young, but they still got some guys on offense. They still got some guys on offense.
But Josh Allen's really good. He's really. I'm just saying. I wouldn't get overconfident. This team, to me,
Chandler Jones type level good.
Right, but listen, this team to me has not earned us to be overconfident. Like they've proven that they will let teams hang around that shouldn't. And so until they prove otherwise and can string together a few wins, I just don't think that we can be this confident going into any game because they haven't proven or given us any reason to be that confident. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I can understand that because I'm not like, I know, but this is just one of those games where it's like the 2 games on the schedule, 3 games on the schedule that I think we're going to be wins 100% are Houston, Jacksonville, and Detroit. These 3 wins on the schedule were 100%, in my opinion, 100% wins. Now, some of the games like Cincinnati, Atlanta, those games are like 50-50. Those games could go either way. Minnesota, those games are like 50-50. But Jacksonville, Houston, and Detroit, all 3 of those wins, when I looked at the schedule before the season, I was like, those 3 are wins, hands down.
That's fair. That's fair. Listen, I hope you're right. And again, I'm gonna be in attendance. So if they hang 50 on them, I'll love it. I just think it'll be a little closer, but we'll see. Hey, call in Tuesday when we do the show again, and tell me I was an idiot. When you're right to call in and tell me I was an idiot, I'll take it.
I'm not gonna do that. I respect you too much, but we'll see.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you later, man. Have a good night.
All right, man. Peace.
Later. All right, let me get on. So we're going to go Rich, George, Jeremy, Waruna. That's the order, okay? Rich, George, Jeremy, Waruna. All right. What's up, Rich? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. Really, really good. I'm excited for this game on Sunday. I'm excited to head to Jacksonville Saturday. I'm definitely ready to rock.
Man, I'm jealous, man. I wish I was there. I'll be there in spirit with you guys, though, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
But yeah, I hate going after a meme. This is the second time I've had to do it, and his takes are always fire. So so it always makes me nervous. But
listen, Rich, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it because he's not coming back on, so he doesn't even have a chance to fire back at you. So you're good.
No, I like him, man. I respect. At his age, I don't know what I was doing. I know I wasn't doing what he's doing, but he's got a good head on his shoulder. So, no, just as far as the game's concerned, I agree with you. I think you don't want to be overconfident. There's definitely going to be some things to overcome with the short week and the long flight. But I think I think you hit it on the head with when you were talking to Jack about having a slow start and then kind of turning it on in the second half. I kind of see this going the same way that the Philadelphia game went. Where they struggled a little bit in the first half, and then the second half they really, big discrepancy. They were able to hold Philadelphia to 9 points, and I think we outscored them 26-9 or something like that in the second half. So I think we'll see something similar to that with Jacksonville, where it'll be kind of a little bit of a struggle, just being lethargic on offense, and then kind of turning it around the second half. But I think just moving forward, I was looking at we don't want to get ahead of ourselves or anything, but just playoff situations. And, we're in a really great position. If you look at the remaining teams that are there with us in playoff positioning, you've got the Saints, the Panthers, the Vikings, and the Falcons all kind of positioning themselves for that last couple spots. And I was looking over strength of schedule for each of those teams. And we actually have the easiest strength of schedule going the rest of the way. The Saints have And right behind us are the Falcons, but they're losing tonight. We still play them, so if we beat them, then that'll move them 2 games behind us if we can continue to keep up the winning. So the 49ers are in a really good position to make the playoffs and even really climb up to that 6th position. I don't think we're going to catch the Rams or the Cardinals. I think we got a little bit too far behind them, but I think we're in a really good position. I just think we have to take care of Jacksonville first. It's cliche, but we got to, we can't look ahead or they can't look ahead to the next game. They gotta focus on each game at hand. But I think I'm pretty confident. I think this team has a good chance of making the playoffs. I am not gonna allow any Jimmy G hate right now.
No slander on your watch. Yeah.
I am not a Jimmy G. I want to see Trey play. I'm with you, man. I would love to see Trey play, but I think we need to let Jimmy play. I mean, he's earned it. He's been playing well the last 3 games. Let it play out. So anyway, that's what I got to say. I put up my predictions in the last chat. I think I don't know if you had saw it, but I had written out 27-17 as well.
There we go. Nice. Nice. So, I love it. We're on the same page then. So that's 3 of us now that have said it.
And I also told you that you're my brother's doppelganger, by the way.
I love that. That's awesome. Awesome. I love that. That's awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, Rich, one thing before you get out of here. So I want to say this, though. One thing, and it sounds like you agree with me, but to everybody else that heard what you said and was like, oh, okay, we got one of the easier schedules. We should be good here. You have to understand when they look at strength of schedule, win-loss record is what they look at. When teams have the 49ers on their schedule, that's helping their strength of schedule as well. So the 49ers are one of those teams right now that are making other teams' strength of schedule lower as well. That's where the 49ers are at right now, being under 500. So don't get overconfident. I like what you said, Rich. They definitely have a path to the playoffs, a pretty clear path, really, because they do play the Vikings, they do play Atlanta, they do play Seattle, and then you've got the Panthers that play one more game against the Saints. Either way, no matter what happens with that game, that's a win for the 49ers because one of those teams has to lose, I guess, unless they tie. And the Panthers also play the Bucks twice. So I feel like the Niners are in a really, really good spot here. Hopefully they can just execute and put some wins together.
Yeah, and the Panthers play the Falcons too, so that's another.
There you go. Either way, good for the Niners. That's a good call. Good call. All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Have fun at the game, and I'll be looking forward to maybe talking with you next week, man.
Absolutely, brother. We'll talk later.
All right.
All right. Let's bring in George. Thanks for waiting, George. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. Loud and clear.
Hey, I was extremely wrong. I did not expect my Niners to beat the Rams. I honestly did not. That was a game that really shocked me.
It shocked the hell out of me too, George.
Yeah, our defense actually came to play. The Rams looked like they were scared to get hit. The receivers were scared to get hit. They were dropping the ball. Like there was a lot of catches in that game that the Rams could have caught. They were just scared to get hit because our linebackers were just roaming around, just trying to hit anybody that they see. Fred Warner, his animal came out of him. I mean, the way Fred looked when he was playing in that game, why doesn't he play like that? He was playing like 2019 Fred, 2020 Fred. That game he came to play. He had to wait for John Lynch to talk him down for him to come out and play like that. Aziz Al-Shir, all them guys came to play. That's what really made me hype. And I'm happy for my defense. Jimmy G play like Jimmy G. He's always gonna play like that. I'm not hating on Jimmy G. I respect the way he played. Him and Matt Jones are identical in every way. Because I'm watching the Atlanta Falcon game. They're identical. Like there's no difference between any of them. They are the same. It's the Patriots system, the way they train their quarterbacks. That it's their system. Like even if Trey Lance would have went over there too, I really think he would have played the exact same way Matt Jones playing now. It's the Patriots system. I've been hearing a lot of Niner fans saying that we should have chose Matt Jones over Trey Lance, but Niner fans are not realizing that Trey Lance can move, he's mobile, and he can do a lot of amazing stuff on the run.
Yeah,
And Matt Jones
absolutely.
is not like that.
I agree. I agree with you. And that's what it is, right? At number 3, you have to take a player that's dynamic and can do something more than
Yes.
the ceiling of Mac Jones is not, it's just not as high. It's maybe he's as good as Kirk Cousins, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are trying to say, well, he's got the same brain as Brady and Breeze. And listen, let's stop all that right now.
Yeah, just stop that.
I'm not saying that he is a decisive player. He makes good decisions. Very, very. He diagnoses things quickly when he gets to the line. All those things are true about Mac Jones, right? But you have to be an elite mind. You can't just be a really good mind. You have to have a Peyton Manning, a Drew Brees, a Tom Brady type mind to really be that elite player. I think it's probably harder that he reaches those heights than Lance reaching the heights of a top 5, top 7 quarterback with his athletic ability and knowing that he's a quarterback first. So I agree with you.
And the thing I'm trying to say, we have not seen Trey Lance play the amount of games Matt Jones has played. Trey Lance only played one game, and that was against Arizona. He played the full Arizona defense with all the keys with J.J. Watt there, Chandler Jones, them guys coming from both sides. Trey Lance went up against that, and his coach did not help him out. Kyle Shanahan made the man run. He didn't make the man throw the ball. He didn't make the man run the actual Kyle Shanahan system. He didn't do that. So the thing about it is, I'm saying to all my Niner fans, keep your eyes open. Just relax. Let the man play. Let him play games. Let him get a start. But right now, Jimmy G is playing out good. So keep it in until Jimmy G play like Jimmy G. When we see Trey Lance actually play the amount of games that's remaining on the schedule, if he get a shot, God forbid something happen and Jimmy G throw like a lot of picks or something, and then Kyle pull him out. I'm not wishing that. I don't want none of that to happen. But if that happened and the man start, let's see the man play the actual system of Kyle Shanahan, not just mobile quarterback run. No, like you got to give it a chance, and every Niner fan got to relax. We made a right choice. I honestly think that, and I'm 100% honest with that. I don't think we made a wrong choice because by watching Matt Jones play, he reminded me of a younger Jimmy G. I'm just everything when I watch the Patriots play, they're playing conservative football. They're playing run the ball, defense, short yard, check downs, one time deep, check down. It's mainly check downs.
You're right about that. You're right about that. You are absolutely right about that. And I'll say this, Mac Jones does take more shots, at least now, than Jimmy does now. Mm-hmm. But people have to remember, Jimmy G for the Patriots was taking shots. He was not afraid to push the ball downfield. And people fell in love with Jimmy G. Almost everybody thought he was the next it player, right? We've been here before.
Yes.
I'm going to give you another comparison real quick, George, because first of all, fire call. I love this call. I think fantastic points. But let's go back to the Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen draft. Now, let's just switch roles for a second. Imagine Josh Allen goes number 1 instead of Baker Mayfield. After year 1, Baker Mayfield in 14 games put up better numbers or on par numbers with what Mac's going to do in 17 games this year or what he's on pace to do, okay? Baker Mayfield looked really, really good. Josh Allen didn't look so hot. If you were judging things based off of that year alone and you didn't remain convicted. I was a Josh Allen guy. I never wavered. I'm a Trey Lance guy. I'm not wavering. But if you were not convicted in that Josh Allen thought process, then you wavered and you were going, oh man, Baker Mayfield should have been picked number 1, But we saw year 3, and this is why it's so important. Year 3 is so important. Year 1, you're ahead of defenses. They don't know what to look for from you. Mm-hmm. Year 2, defenses are ahead of you because they've seen you on film. Now it's your turn to adjust, and that's when year 3 happens. We'll see year 3, Mac Jones, Trey Lance. If Mac Jones looks better by the end of year 3 than Trey Lance, I'll agree with you. Until then, I'm not wavering. So that's what I want to see. And I believe Trey Lance will be the better player.
And the thing I'm trying to say is that we all just got to relax. And we all fell in love with Jimmy G when he was in that Patriots system. He came to us. We all see how Jimmy G is now. The NFL defenses catch up. You just got to relax and be calm. Trey Lance have not played. We have not seen anything. And to end my call, I really think the only way the Niners could lose this game is, one, we let Jimmy G throw the ball a lot. If we just come out the way we play against the Rams, we will dominate the Jags easily. That's all. It's all on which Kyle is going to come to coach. Is it going to be the Rams Kyle, or is it going to be the Kyle that we've been getting the whole entire season? Pretty much. That's all depends. So, I mean, we can't say how the Niners going to win if we don't know how the coach is going to coach.
That's a great point. No, that's a great point because they haven't been consistent in sticking to that run game.
They have not.
Yeah,
and when they run the ball, they're unstoppable. Like, if the Niners run the ball, if the Niners come out the way they played on Monday night, they're going to win a lot of games. Don't put the ball in Jimmy G hands for a long period of time. Run the ball, run the rock. Thank you, man. You take care, brother.
Hey, George, hell of a call. Try to call in if you can in the future.
Yes,
I think you've called in once, right? You've called in before?
Yeah. I called in last
I thought
week.
so.
Okay.
That's what I thought. I knew you looked familiar.
And I tried to call into Grant's show, but I was busy that day, so I wasn't able. But I was watching y'all on the late night. I was watching y'all video.
I appreciate it, man. That was a hell of a call, man. Hopefully the Niners win this week. Hopefully they can put together a second win. That was a great call. I appreciate it. Have a good night, brother.
Niners for life, man. Niners for life.
Hell yeah. Later. That was a fantastic call. All right. Speaking of fantastic callers, I'm bringing in my guy, Waruna, always setting the record straight. I got to know, I mean, is this 2 losses he's had now? 3 losses maybe in a row? Waruna, what's the record now for your 49er pick?
It's 6-3. I lost 3 in a row.
Oh, no.
I'm a bust.
It's my mistake. Oh no! All right. Well, what's the prediction for this week?
The funny thing is, I want to predict that we will win the game, but now I'm afraid. Since I lost 3 in a row, if I predict that we will win, that we will eventually going to lose. So
you're overthinking it.
About it. Yes, but thing is, it's a trap game, right? Because every time we look like, okay, we can get it better. For example, Green Bay game. Okay, once we lost that game, we thought, okay, still this team can go against, correct the mistakes, win against Seahawks. But that game totally went out of the proportions and we lost the game. We thought we can win the Colts game because we were coming after bye and thought, okay, we are 2-3. Now we know what are our mistakes. Okay, we are going to do this. Again, we lost it. So the problem with this team is it's unpredictable. And there is another reason. Now, everyone expects us to run the ball because the stats for the last game was like we ran the ball for 44 times versus 19 passing attempts by Jimmy. So practically 66% of the time. But the problem is, Kyle said multiple times, when the defenses are stacking up the box, he's giving up the run. So he does not have the weapons to adjust to that. That's the biggest problem that I'm seeing from this team. The adaptability, in-game adjustments. I think that was part of the reason why our defense gave up some games, right? Because they were unable to adapt during the game. And on the offensive side of the ball, that is part of the reason as well. Because not Kyle's fault, because Kyle can scheme up and dial up plays that can get receivers down the field. Even we saw against the Rams game, I watched the Jacks and Grants, that video breakdown, there was a couple of occasions. I can't remember who was open. It might be Juan Jennings or Mohamed San. They were open, but Jimmy did decided not to throw to these guys and just throw on a short pass. So if you can adjust during the game, I mean, that's what good teams do. They always analyze, okay, they take it by step by step, one drive after another. Okay, what went wrong in this drive? Okay, we are going to correct it. So, I mean, that's a brilliant part of good teams, right? For example, how I mean, imagine Green Bay missed David Bakhtiari for how many weeks? 6? Is he missing, David Bakhtiari?
Yeah, he's still out. They've been missing
He's still
Alexander and they're missing one of their pass rushers as well.
Yes, but how many games they have won? So that's all about their flexibility, their ability to adjust to the game conditions. That's what we saw. Because coming into the 49 game, we thought, okay, Nick Bosa is going to eat. But what happened? They sacked our quarterback. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was just getting the ball out immediately. Even our defensive line didn't have a chance to get to Aaron Rodgers. So that's the biggest problem I see from this team. That's what I'm worried about this game, because how much we are going to adapt. I think I'm not going to undermine the game against Rams, but we have to remember we took 2 turnovers that resulted in 14 points. That's a big factor in this game, because we did not have that cushion in other games. You talked about this earlier, why Cowboys defense give a better chance to their offense, complement their offense, because when they get that 1 or 2 turnovers in the game, it's more than enough for offense heavy loaded team like Cowboys to go and win the games. Even they might not be the best team around. I mean, not best team around, I sense, not the number one team. But I believe 49ers do not have that luxury. Our defense and offense, both of the departments, playing up and down football. Some days they are on point, on fire. The very next day they are cold like, I don't know, North Pole. So that's the problem I am seeing. So it's difficult to say whether we are still a good football team, unless otherwise we put together at least 3 wins in a row.
I'm with you. Right now, this team's still under 500, right? We've got to see it. And that win was a great win. I don't want to take anything away from that win. I was so happy after that win, smiling ear to ear. And because going into that game, Runa, just to be real, my thought process was they're going to lose this game. It's going to be ugly. And I'm excited that I'm going to see Trey Lance next week in Jacksonville when I go to the game. That's where my mindset was. So when they came out and they were able to string together the pick, then the pick 6, and just that first drive and impose their will, I got really excited. I'm like, okay, maybe this team's for real. Maybe they can actually pull their head out. And it was exciting. But that being said, they're still not good enough to just assume that wins are going to happen. They're going to have to earn every win on that schedule. And we'll see what happens Sunday. Do I believe they're going to win? For sure. But would I be shocked if they lost? I sorry to say, I wouldn't be at this point. They haven't earned enough equity to assume that they're going to just win these games.
Yes, that's exactly the reason. Because even today's win, the Patriots win against Falcons, that just showed how good they are. Because they can shut down a team. They don't have to score much. They just do the basics and still win the game. So
absolutely.
So we are not there yet.
Absolutely. Hey, brother, I appreciate you calling in. I got a few waiting, so I'm going to jump to them. Thank you for tapping in. I'm looking forward to that article. I want to see what the official prediction is. I think you're overthinking it. Just go with your gut, man. Go with your gut. Oh, yes, I got to say this too. Props to you. The fantasy league for the channel. I was 9-0. Waruna hung the first L on me. Week 10, I finally lost. I was 9-0. It's a 12-man league. I thought I was going to make it through the season undefeated, and Waruna crept up behind me, nipped my heels out from underneath me, and took a win. Good job there, Waruna.
Thank you. I didn't expect that, actually. I was
me neither.
Now I
And you
have
didn't
a
even
chance.
rub it in. You should have rubbed it in. Anyways. All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Good night, Jesse.
All right, too. Bye. All right, listen, we've got almost 60 of you guys watching right now. I've got Eric, you were going to be next. It was going to be you, then Jamaican, then OG, then Sersky. So, Eric, if you can get back in, I'll put you to the top. But, yeah, all right, there you are. All right, good. Right now, we've got almost 60 of you watching, though. So make sure you hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Come over from any other platform that you're watching on. Come over to YouTube, Last Second Sports. Give us some love. You've stuck around for this long, so I know you're enjoying the show. So just show some love, hit the bell notification as well, and make sure you never miss an episode, all right? All right, Eric, we're coming to you, my man. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's up, Jesse? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Been a while. How you been?
I've been pretty good, actually.
Good.
I went on vacation for a little while, so I missed a couple of weeks worth of your shows, but I'm back.
Hey,
now,
okay. To be fair, if you're on vacation, you should care what the hell I'm doing over here on YouTube.
Yeah, but I got to admit, I'm watching the first half of the game on Monday night, I had to stop and check my phone, not to see what day it was or what month it was. I had to check and see what year it was, because it felt to me like it was 2019 all over again. I mean, they were running the ball, the defense was getting after it. I mean, this is their recipe for success.
Absolutely. It's funny that you say that, because I started a Twitter space. Hey, thanks, Jamar. I appreciate it. I started a Twitter space right after the game, and I tagged it 2019 vibes. And then I think I named the show on Tuesday 2019 vibes. I felt the same way.
Yeah. So I was wondering, I'm watching the game and I'm wondering, like, so, what's different? Why is it working now when it wasn't really working as well throughout the rest of the season? And, you can give me your opinion on this, but it occurred to me that you got Trent Williams healthy, you got George Kittle healthy, and I believe this is the first game that Jeff Wilson Jr. played. So you don't have to just run Elijah Mitchell every game, every single play until he gets injured. You don't have to try to put Trey Sermon out there, who up until this point, he doesn't really fit the offense as well as those other guys. So do you think it's as simple as just they're getting healthy at some very important positions in the running game? And you talk about Trent Williams and George Kittle. I mean, how many times did we see in that Rams game Von Miller getting bodied by either Trent Williams or George Kittle? If they're not playing in that game, maybe it goes differently. Maybe it's a lot like that Lions game where, or not Lions, excuse me, the Colts game where they couldn't seem to get anything going because they didn't have Kittle. I'm pretty sure that Trent Williams was out for that game as well. So I wanted to get your take on it. It occurred to me that they're healthy. They got their maulers out there, and that seemed to me to be the big difference.
I tend to agree. I'm going to give a little bit of pushback. So I'm going to go back to the first Arizona game, okay, when they played Trey Lance. So we can say what we want about Mike McGlinchey, but he's better than Compton by quite a bit, okay? So we had him playing. Yes, we did not have Kittle, but we had Warner, who at that time was blocking well. Jeff Wilson was not playing. I, however, don't understand why Trey Sermon can't get any burn when he's clearly, now that Wilson's back, I get it. But before that, he was clearly better than Hasty. And the one game where he was given the autonomy and given a majority of those carries, he did really well, okay? Especially for your second back. So the fact that they are just choosing not to run him for whatever reason, after you had to rely on him for a game and he did pretty decent, it was something like 20 carries for 89 yards or 18 for 89, something like that. Not amazing, but it was good. And he had some explosive plays. He had a 14-yard run, things like that. And by the way, he, I believe, was brought into play with Trey Lance because he ran a lot out of shotgun in college, a lot of the read option, that type of stuff. So I feel like Kyle is choosing not to run the ball for whatever reason. I think he's had opportunities to do what he did, maybe not to that extent, but he's had opportunities to do what he did on Monday night, and he just hasn't done it for whatever reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, certainly the play calling, there was a marked difference in the play calling. The first 14 first downs they had, they ran the ball every single time. That's not a coincidence. Obviously Kyle went in the game and he said, let's get back to the basics. Let's get back to what we do well. And I think, so maybe it's all on Kyle at that point. Maybe he just needs to commit to the run more. Because it seems to me, if you're making a flow chart of how this team wins, it all starts with the running game. You have to be able to run the ball because that sets up the play action pass. It keeps your defense on the sideline. Your defense gets the rest. I mean, that first drive that they, right after the interception, their first drive of the game took over 11 minutes off the clock. A game is 60 minutes. So that's almost 20% of the game gone in one drive. Now, the other team at that point, they have no choice but to scrap their game plan. You can't stay with your original game plan when oh my God, we may only get like 2 more possessions in the first half, and then the Niners get the ball back to start the second half. You know what I mean? So it changes the entire game when you can get a long, sustained drive like that. Now, at that point, the question is that repeatable? Can they do that every week? I don't know. That's a concern of mine because they were. I don't know what the exact percentage was on third down in that game, but it was great. It was terrific, and I don't know if they can really rely on that every time. So, I still go back to, if I think if they had Trey Lance in there, I think they'd get a little more splash plays, a little more chunk plays. I think if you're relying on 18 play drives, it's great when it works. But the problem is you're going to get in multiple third down situations. If you don't convert one of those third downs, then you're punting the ball. So I think it's risky. I think that kind of game plan, like I said, it's great when it works, but I think there's a lot of risk with that too. All it takes is one. They stop the run on third down, or if Jimmy makes an errant pass, or, God forbid the receiver doesn't catch it because, nobody catches it every time. I just think that particular style, there's a lot of risk in it. I'd like to see them supplement the run with a few more splash plays every now and again. But again, I don't really know if you're going to get that out of Jimmy G. So maybe as long as Jimmy's the starter, maybe this is the best we can hope for, which is fine.
Yeah. I'll say this, Nathan, I'm curious to see who you're a fan of, but yeah, I'll say this. The thing about 49ers run game is that they get most of their explosive plays from the run game. Also, they're not just a grind you out type of running team. They will get explosive plays from that run game and have for many years. So the fact that they're just choosing not to go with it, I think expecting 40 plus runs that's asinine. That's definitely not going to happen. But that being said, we absolutely should expect that they stick to the run game and come out with that conviction no matter what. That should be an expectation for the rest of the season. Come out with a swagger, with an attitude that come hell or high water, whether we're getting 3 yards a carry or 6, we are going to commit to running the ball 30 times this game. And as long as you have that mentality, it doesn't mean you can't change on the fly, but as long as you have that mentality going into it and you don't get away from the run early because there's a front that you don't like or what have you, I think this team's going to be fine. But that is the key to the rest of the season.
Yeah. The only thing I would add to that a little bit is that I don't know if Elijah Mitchell has the breakaway speed, because it seems to me that a lot of those chunk plays over the last few years, you had some serious burners in the backfield. You had Matt Breida, Raheem Mostert, Tevin Coleman. You had guys that when they got to the second level, they were gone. And I don't know if necessarily if Elijah Mitchell really has that next gear. He's a great runner. I'm really impressed with the way he's ran so far. He's a great pickup, especially where he was taken in the draft. It's a fantastic draft pick. But I think when you're comparing him to the production you got out of Mostert and some of those big chunk plays, I mean, Mostert and Breida, they would get, 70, 80-yard runs. I'm not so sure that Mitchell has, that particular part of his game. I don't know if he really has the breakaway speed to get to that. But I mean, as long as he's ripping off, 7, 8 yards every time, it'll work. It's just, like I said, my concern is that when that's your game plan, you got to convert on third downs. You miss one third down, you're punting the ball away, And, because like I said, I think it all comes down to the flow chart of how this team wins. You establish the run, you set the play action pass, and then the other team has no choice but to throw the ball. Then you unleash Nick Bosa and the rest of the pass rush after them. And I think that they're set up great when they have the lead, but it could come. It might not work as well if they're coming from behind, because then all of a sudden it's a completely different dynamic. Now they're the team that has to throw the ball. The other team can establish the run, so you can't really commit as much to the pass rush. So I'm looking ahead. I expect them to make the playoffs at this point. I don't know if that's a hot take or if most people agree with me, but I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the schedule. I noticed a couple guys back. They brought the strength of schedule. 49ers do have a lot of winnable games left on their schedule. Of course, they could easily come out and lose any of those games. I mean, they've been really up and down all season, but I think, if they play as well, even, 75% as well as they did on Monday night, I think they're beating the Texans. I think they're beating the Jaguars. And then you look at the games with the Vikings, the Falcons, and the Bengals. They could very well win 2 out of those 3 games. So now you're looking at, that brings them up to 9 wins on the season.
Yeah.
And as of right now, they're only a half game out of the 7th seed. They're 1 game out of the 6th seed. And this probably might sound crazy to most people. They're only 2 back of the Rams in the loss column for the 5th seed. And they just beat the Rams. So if they beat them again, now all of a sudden you got the tiebreaker against the Rams and you're only 1 game back. And by the way, as the other caller mentioned, the Rams have the 3rd hardest strength of schedule. So, I mean, they could, possibly jump up to the 5th seed by the time it's all done. Of course, Jimmy could come out and throw 2 picks and they could end up not making the playoffs at all. It's
right.
It's been a really hard year to predict, but I think obviously, the way it went on Monday night, it looks like they're getting their game plan back on track. They're back to playing Niner football. And, I think it's coming at the right time.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Hey, Eric, good call as always. Thank you for calling in, my guy. I got a few people waiting. I got to jump to them. Before I let you go, though, what's your final score prediction?
Well, I'm the optimist. So I got 31-13 49ers.
I love it. Hey, if that happens, I'll take it for sure. All right, brother. I hope to hear from you soon. All right.
All right, man. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Later. All right. I'm going to go to Jamaican Boy here in a second. That's cool. You know what? It's funny. And I don't know, Nathan, if you were on before, but some of you Panther guys, we've had Big Cat on a few times. Some of you guys I know who Big Cat is, but he's been on a few times. That was on our old channel. So we had a channel. We were up near 3,000 subscribers. We lost it, unfortunately, due to this call-in show. This is why I don't have anybody's video anymore. But basically, we had a good little Panther following that tapped in with us, and I was worried that we had lost them all. So I don't know if you're one of the OGs, but if you are, great. If not, you guys go over to Big Cat's channel and bring them back over. 704 over there. That's one of the things that kind of sucks, man, is 704 Bound was a big supporter of ours. Yeah. Keep pounding. Yep. He was a huge supporter of ours. He always tapped into our shows, man. And so when we heard that he passed, that hit us hard. So, the one cool thing about our old channel is that we always had that subscription from 704, even though he was no longer with us, and having to start over, we lost that. So, that hit me a little bit, but I appreciate you guys for tapping in, and I'm glad that you guys found us again. That's fantastic. All right, let me go to you, Jamaican Boy, then OG, Sersky, and then Kevin. And then we'll see if anybody else calls in. What's up, Jamaican Boy? How you doing, man?
What's good? You hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you.
All right. I don't even know where to start, man. It's
been a roller coaster of 2 weeks. I get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any crazier than that.
I'll go with the obvious. We had no business losing to the Cardinals under any circumstances.
Right.
We want to bash, the whole Niner base want to bash Cliff Kingsbury. Oh, he's not a good coach, this and that. Well, he spanked Kyle Shanahan twice. So now Cliff Kingsbury is Kyle Shanahan's daddy. What you got to say about that? Without Kyler Murray. Without J.J. Watt. Without A.J. Green. Did A.J. Green play in that game? I don't think he did.
No. Nope. He had COVID.
Yeah, without DeAndre Hopkins. Unacceptable. Unacceptable, man. Like, people might say, "Oh, don't dwell on the past," but that's unacceptable. That was a must win. Like it was a no brainer to win that game. And the way we just laid down, we looked like the Rams last week.
Yeah,
Point blank, period.
absolutely. Here's the thing though. I don't think, first of all, I haven't talked to you in a couple weeks, so it's totally fine to bring
Weeks?
up
More like
the Cardinals
two
game.
and a half months.
Okay, has it been that long? No,
Yes.
come on.
Yeah.
You've
Last
called
time-
into this channel, haven't you? Or was it the old channel?
No, the other channel. I haven't called into this one. That's why I said I apologize
Really?
for missing the show. Yeah.
Oh, okay. My fault. I don't know, for some reason I thought I'd heard from you a few weeks ago. Anyways, either way, haven't heard from you in a while. So it's
Yeah.
okay to talk about the past, right?
Yeah.
Totally fine to talk about the past. And I think it's okay to reset some expectations because 49er fans are riding really high right now, as you should be. Big win. But also, let's temper those expectations because it was
Oh, you
really
can see
ugly
me?
the week prior. I can
can
see
see
you.
me?
Yeah, I got
Okay,
you.
yeah.
You can see me. I can see you. They can't see you. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm not looking for nobody to agree with me, but we should not be riding high. Like this team has an identity crisis, and it starts with the coach. You don't run the ball when you're supposed to. Why does Elijah Mitchell only get 8 or 9 touches in both Cardinal games? Like, do you learn your lesson or not? Like, and here's a micro stat for you. When he has over 17 attempts, he runs over 90 yards. You could go check
There you
fantasy
go.
for that. That's a little
There
micro
you
stat for you.
Let's just sprinkle it in there. I like it.
Yeah, like, and that's not no PFF crap or any of that. And like, everybody knows, like, your bread and butter is running the ball. You're not confident in Jimmy. You stated that before the season starts. Why are you doing a 40-11 ratio?
Yeah, they don't
Why?
win. It's not like I understand the stats look fine from Jimmy, but they don't win when they go with a ratio like that. It's just not a recipe for this team to win.
I
That's
don't
not how
want to
they
hear
go.
no. Oh, we win with Jimmy. Now you're losing with Jimmy. What's the excuse now?
Right.
Who's to say? All right, we almost blew the Detroit game. We blew the Green Bay game. We blew the Cardinals game. Like, those were winnable games. Yes, we beat
Oh, for
Detroit,
sure.
but we almost lost that. We should have beat Aaron Rodgers. We should have.
Well, they should have also been up 21-7 at halftime against Seattle. Just to be real, that game shouldn't have been that score. So
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Like, how do you take a massive dip from week 1? You're telling me you can't put up 10 to 13 points in a half?
Right.
You go what, 3-4 weeks with only just putting up 7 points in the first half? One game you didn't even put up points?
Yeah, you're right about that. It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Like, I know I sound hella negative right now, but come on, man.
Okay, here's the
fault.
thing.
Let me just say this. It's our fault because we was like, when I think after, like, Kyle Shanahan's second year before the Super Bowl run, I think Max Kellerman said it on First Take. He was like, this guy's gonna be like Bill Belichick. Had the rough years when he was on the Browns, and then he went to the Patriots, and then he became like the best head coach ever. And I went to my friends and I said that, and now I look like a complete idiot. That's why I call him Whiff-a-hand, because he does nothing but whiff.
Oh man. Okay, here's the deal. I'm not going to go as far as Bill Belichick, but here's what I will say. This has kind of been my
They were
take.
just saying
that
he's on that trajectory.
No, for sure. But that's kind of where my mind's at with Kyle, that I think, sadly, that he might be better with his second team. Like, once he loses some of that power, gets knocked down a peg, fired from here, whatever that looks like, and goes on that second team, I feel like that's where he can really take off. I do struggle to believe that he's going to find consistency with the 49ers with all the power that he has. If he was just the coach, okay, I'm on board. But with all the power that he has and the personnel, running the offense, even dipping into the defense throughout the game, doing all these things that a head coach does, I feel like it's a lot for a first-time head coach to have all of that on their plate in order to also be a consistent winner. That's just the way that I see it.
I don't want to see Debo behind the line of scrimmage as a running back. He's like, yes, it looks nice, it looks cute on tape, but I don't want to see that because
I'm with you.
You're making him run straight into linebackers when he only should be dealing with DBs. Like, yes, he plays physical, but let him be a receiver. If you want to run him, do the jet sweep,
which they don't do anymore at all. They've just completely gotten away from that.
Like, and why can't you're telling me, as gifted as Brandon Ayuk is, he can't do the same thing as Debo? Mind you, I think Brandon Ayuk has better hands.
Oh, he definitely has better hands than Debo. Debo's very inconsistent as a pass catcher. He's got really strong hands, and he definitely attacks the ball at high points and things like that in traffic, but he does have a drop issue for sure.
Yeah, like, and then this goes to show, like, I believe you can make Elijah Mitchell look like Dalvin Cook or Christian McCaffrey. I don't see no more play action. I don't see no more rollout. I don't see no more jet sweep. Like, you're strafing away from everything that you've built your identity on. This is not a drop back passing team. Why are you mortgaging your future quarterback and making him run up the middle? So what if he's bigger than Lamar Jackson? He's not as agile. Like, you spent 3 first-round picks and you want to send your QB right up the middle into Isaiah Simmons and Jordan Hicks. Am I right?
Yeah. Yep.
How is that conducive for this team?
Brother, I mean, yeah, I think you're on point here.
Especially
you're on
for
point
his
with a lot of
first
things.
start. You don't give him none of the little gimme jimmies. Why you make it so easy for Jimmy, you know, to play the game while still losing? But you telling me Trey can't replicate that?
Trey Lance is 67% passing on attempts that are 10 yards and under, and that's with 3 drops. So, yeah, he can definitely execute that game plan.
Let me fertilize people's mind in the chat real quick. Let me ask you, Jesse, who's better right now, Cam Newton or Jimmy Garoppolo?
That's a tough one. I'm going to go slight Jimmy.
Okay, so this is a pick your poison. Do you want a mobile quarterback or do you want a drop back quarterback who's not comfortable dropping back? Like you see now, they morphed the offense into a shotgun.
Yeah.
So I believe, I'm not going to say that Cam is better, but he can score more than Jimmy. He's more elusive. He can roll out the pocket. He can pick up 5 to 7 yards if needed be by himself. That's just another weapon. That's just another weapon. His legs outside of his arm. Yes, he's not accurate. So what's the difference between Cam Newton right now and Trey Lance? Both not really accurate. Both can use their legs and score with their legs, just like Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson. And both got big arms. Jimmy don't have a big arm.
Well, and Trey Lance at this point after surgery, post Cam Newton surgery, he definitely has a bigger arm than Cam right now. So,
yeah,
I mean, he even leaning towards Trey Lance. I agree with you. Yeah, that's a good point.
And Kyle saying that. Sorry, I'm not gonna use his name. With a hand saying that. Freaking. Oh, Trey knows the playbook. He just has to, fine tune the handoffs and like just the little things. So why is he not playing? So if you're telling me this young kid can learn your complex offense within 4 to 5 months, why is he not playing? Why is he not starting? Why didn't you trade Jimmy? Why is Jimmy still here? You have $27 million versus how much is Stray getting paid? 5, 3,
7, I think.
7. Like, why didn't you get rid of him for whatever?
Yeah, bro. I've been saying, like, I'm with you. You know, I'm with you. Like, I've been saying, start this kid since week 1. Like, I'm with you on this.
I wanted Justin Fields or Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
but I watched Trey and I saw there's a possibility he could be good. Why do we need to be the, like, even Matthew Stafford uses his legs? Why do we have to be the only team in the division that doesn't have a mobile quarterback? We've been getting our ass kicked by mobile quarterbacks for a decade. Russell Wilson has been our daddy for X amount of years. Yes, we're the Rams daddy, but who cares? We still need to take care of Seattle and Arizona.
Seattle's gonna be a tough one. That right there, I think, is where the season's gonna hang in the balance, right? Like, is that a game that they can win? Can they overcome that game? I think ultimately that's what the season's gonna come down to, because I think Seattle is gonna hang around. The 49ers are gonna be right there, and it's gonna come down to that game and whether they make the playoffs or not. It's gonna be crazy.
If they would have traded Jimmy before the trade deadline, or even before the season, and then the Arizona got JJ Watt, right?
Yeah.
Why the hell we couldn't make that trade for Von Miller to replace D Ford? D Ford could sit there, but that extra cap room would have gave us Von Miller. That extra cap room probably would have gave us AJ Green, or AJ Bouye, or Kevin
Stephon
King,
Gilmore,
or Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah. There's a lot of guys that they could have had. Yeah, Kyle Fuller maybe at the deadline. Yeah, there's a lot of guys they could have had. Jamaican boy, I got to get on to the next one, my guy. I gave you like 15 minutes to make up for the last few months.
One more thing.
All right.
Like, I'm not gonna say Tart is better than Hufanga. I'm not gonna say Hufanga is better than Tart. But it's a pick your poison. Do you want coverage or do you want a hitter? I'm fine with Jimmy Ward playing coverage and Hufanga being the hitter. That hitter he hit against that he did against freaking Darrell Henderson. I haven't seen that since Dante Whitner. Deshaun Golston.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick
Yes. Yep. I'm with you on that. Yep. And that's why I think it's so important that at least one of the two, and maybe both of them, between him and Aziz, because both of those guys are going to give receivers alligator arms over the middle. They both are coming to put some hurt on you, and I love to see that. I like
what Aziz has been doing. I think, like, you should smack the receivers or the running back, like, in the first quarter, like, let them know, hey, like, this is going to be a long day for you. And then you'll have results like the Rams receivers dropping passes because they're scared to get hit. This team has been playing soft. Yeah.
You're right. Listen, I love the thumpers. I definitely love the thumpers, and I'm not going to be mad if either one of them play. For sure. All right, brother. Hey, it was good hearing from you. Thank you so much for tapping in. I did see you on Grant's show last night, and hopefully I hear from you next week. All right, man?
Hey, man, I hope he's splitting them change with you, man.
Hey, well, listen, I'll get my monetization up here shortly. We're not far away. By this time next week, I should be able to apply again. So we'll get it back going, man.
All right, man. Stay blessed, man.
All right, you too, man. Later. All right. Speaking of DB talk, I know that we're going to be hearing more here from Mr. OG 49er DB Disciple. It's been a while since I've heard from you, brother. Hopefully everything's been good. How you been?
Yeah, everything's been good, man. Just work and getting my new shower installed. So it's been pretty busy over here at my house.
I feel it.
Before I talk, I sound better now because I got an earpiece in, so there's no echo.
Yeah, well, you always sounded okay. It was just I always got an echo back, so I'd have to mute you in between and whatever. But yes, it way better. I don't hear myself, and that's a good thing. I don't want to hear myself talk.
Well, Jesse, you my man and everything, right? So I'm gonna keep it positive because I'm not gonna lie, I was getting bored with this Crimea River negativity. So I'm not gonna do that to you. I'm gonna keep it positive.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, here's the thing. Jamaican Boys, he supported me for a long time, and he hasn't been able to. He used to call in pretty regularly, so he hasn't been able to call in for a while. So he had a lot to get off his chest, and I had to let him riff. He definitely brings up good points. I'm with him, but it's tough, right? Like this is the week where we got to try to be as positive as possible. But he's not lying. He was spitting facts, that's for sure. But I feel it.
Well, this would go back to Monday night's game. Jesse, I was so proud. I know you saw my tweet. I was so proud of the 49er defense. They got their mojo back, and that is playing pissed off football. I mean, they were hitting with conviction. I mean, I was very impressed the way they were hitting. And not only that, they were hitting so hard. Me, personally, I was hoping their wives would feel it as well, because that's how hard the 49ers were hitting. Yeah, everybody could talk about Josh Norman, because I've been seeing it a lot, getting, mistiming his jump and missing the ball. Jesse, I played the position. I got beat a few times mistiming my jump. So I'm going to be a man about it. I got beaten like that before. It happens. I always say, this is when I coach my sons, before you think about jumping, look at the trajectory of the ball. You'll know when to jump. So I've always coached my sons how to do that. But I was so proud of the 49er defense, the way they handle business. And so I'm very proud of me. What did you see?
I agree with you. Jimmy Ward is super underrated, man. And now that he missed a couple games, it's been a while since he hasn't played, right? So the fact that he's now missed a couple games or a game or whatever, and they got to see what it looked like without him, I think we all know how important Jimmy Ward is now. If you didn't know before, you definitely know now. You definitely
have you seen that? Hey, is it true? Because I've seen it on YouTube, so I want to make sure that's legit. That Jimmy Ward's going to be looking for OBJ because of what he did when Ward intercepted that ball. I saw that.
Yeah, he said it in the press conference. Yeah,
I wish he would. I wish he would not say that, because now you're going to give the refs a reason to call a penalty on you. So that's why I was like, don't say, I know how you feel. Just don't say it, because you're giving the refs a reason to call not a personal foul on you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But he's backed up everything else he said, man. All that trash he talked about the Rams. I mean, he's not afraid to say what's on his mind. So yeah.
Now looking forward to the Jaguars game. First thing I hope it don't happen. Now, if you remember 2019, where we beat the Saints in that intense game, but then when it came to the Falcon game, we lost that game. So I hope a deja vu don't happen. That's what I'm worried about in this Jaguars game. So I'm hoping
it can't happen. The season's over if it happens. It cannot happen.
Not only will it be season, but losing to the Jaguars, that can't do that. Cannot do that.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, I study the receivers, the Jaguar receivers. They don't scare no one. Jesse, I'm so confident when I say that. Shoot, I can even put a lockdown Jaguar receiver if I really want to suit up.
Yeah, bro. You're right. They're not scaring anybody. Not right now. I think they're one of their most explosive receiver is out. I forget his name. I don't know why it's slipping.
I know you're talking about that. Yeah. And they're very guardable. Now on the flip side, the Jaguars DBs, they're very beatable. I mean, I've seen them. They can't cover with the crap. They can't even cover a cold. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
So Debo and Ayuk and Kittle should have a big game, and everything should. And also the DBs of the Niners should hold. But like I said, the receivers of Jaguars don't scare nobody.
Yeah, you're right about that. I don't think that there's a lot to be scared. It's not as bad as when they played the Lions, but it's not that much better, right? Like You're not worried going into this one, and quite frankly, that offense isn't scaring anybody. 17 points a game. That defense, however, DJ Shark, there you go. That defense, however, is something to worry about, because they will get to the quarterback. So Jimmy's got to make sure that quick pass game, that heavy run game, they got to stick to that.
Yeah, if they could, I think it's going to be a repeat of Monday night, to be honest with you. I think it'll be a repeat if they stick to the game plan and run. And Trey Sermon, I really feel bad for him. I think he needs a shot. I think he deserves a chance, to be honest with you. And you know what, too? Give Lenore a shot. I'll go as far as give Avery Thomas a shot, even though, Jesse, I've been hard on Thomas as far as his technique. but I want to see how much he's improved. If he hasn't improved, back on the bench. I mean, give him a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree with you. Yeah. What's your score prediction?
In the Jaguar game, I'm gonna go 34-10.
Bold.
I think
like it.
I think the Niners gonna shut down that run and make Lawrence go one dimensional. I think.
I like that. I love that.
I don't think. I'm predicting. Let me rephrase
Okay.
that.
I like it. There we go. I like that. That's dope. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in. Always love talking DBs with you. Hopefully we get some good positive tweets that you're proud again this week, and then we can talk about it again on Tuesday. All right, brother?
Sounds like a plan. Take it easy.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. So we're going to go to Sersky, Kevin, and then Chenille. And that's where I'm going to end it. I got to be up at 6 a.m. It's already midnight. So we got about another 20 minutes or so that we're going to run. But Steve O Supremo has a question. He asked, how does monetization work? So basically, once you get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 viewed hours, you can apply for monetization. So being that I was well past that on the last channel, we were able to get monetized. That means that when you jump into the chat room, you'll see the $sign, meaning you can donate with your question. You can donate just to donate. And then also any ads that are on the video, we get kickback on that as well. So, you know, when you're a channel my size, or even when we were at 3,000 subscribers, it's not a ton of money, right? But it's a little something. And the more subscribers you get and the more viewership you get, obviously that goes up. So you look at someone, you know, obviously everybody in here knows who Grant is. You look at somebody like Grant with 40,000 subscribers, you see how many comments he gets paid for on his. You can make some pretty good money for it. So yeah, that's how monetization works. So that's what we're working towards right now. I think going into today, it's always about 24 hours behind. We're around 3,600 viewership hours. So we're getting close to that 4,000. So all of you guys tapping in, staying with it on the night is much appreciated, because without you guys, this whole thing doesn't happen. And I appreciate all of you for making it happen. So thank you. All right. Going to one of my guys from Twitter, Sersky. What is up?
What's up, bro? What's going on, my guy?
Hey, not much, man. Just getting excited for this game on Sunday. Excited to be in person. And yeah, man, I'm just ready to rock.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. I think the 49ers finally found themselves, man. I think it had to take a game like Arizona to wake them up, man. Because like I said in spaces with you, man, like when you're not doing something you're supposed to do, man, you're gonna run into something that's gonna wake you up. And that's what the 49ers been doing, man. They've been running away from their identity, doing stuff they were not supposed to do, man. And they had to go against a team like Arizona to wake them up. So I think they're getting themselves together. That was a big win against the Rams. That was a game that we needed to win, and they did well, very well, from offense, defense, and special teams. Man, they lowered the penalties. Everybody on offense executed. Running game was going. Jimmy did his part in the offense. Defense played well. Cornerbacks played their part. You know, they look back at the football. They play sound, fundamental defense. Lowered penalties. And when you do things like that, man, you can put yourself in position to win games. So can they do it consistently from this point on? We'll see. But the way they played this past Monday night, man, they have to continue to do that. Now, the Atlanta Falcons lost tonight to New England. So we have to play the Falcons as well. So we have to beat them because they're in the hunt. We play the Vikings later on. They're in the hunt, so we have to beat them. Hopefully they'll lose some games too, man. I think we can get in there, man, but like I said, we have to play the way we played against Monday night consistently. And what Kyle realizes is that I think Kyle is getting it now. I mean, this is something he should have been doing week one. I don't know why he was trying to do anything different, but the San Francisco 49ers, man, we have an identity, and that's running the football down your throat. eating clock and putting points on the board. And that's something Kyle should have been doing. I don't know what was going on with the offense, from the beginning, but that's our identity, man. We run the football, put up points and eat clock, man. And that's just something that we have to do, man. Like with Jimmy Garoppolo, you have to let the running game drive the car, and you have to let Jimmy sit in the back seat. The running game is Jimmy Garoppolo's best friend. If if the running game is not working, Jimmy's gonna get beat up. Jimmy's gonna mess up. So that's just something that we have to keep doing, man. I think Kyle is getting it. And I think even when the running game doesn't work, he must stick with it. He must stick with it. He has to find other avenues when something is not working, So
I feel it. Sersky, let me interrupt just real quick, and I'm sorry to do this.
Yeah.
But the chat has been blessed with the one Jaguars fan in the whole world. So everybody give a round of applause. We have the one Jaguars fan that does exist right here in our chat. I know it's a rare find, right? But they are right here. This is incredible. Thank you so much for tapping in. We appreciate it. All right, Sersky, go ahead, man. Sorry.
Oh, but yeah, man. But if they stay consistent, man, and doing what they keep doing, we'll win some ball games, man. So I think we're going to be fine. Do I think we're going to do this consistently? We'll see. They have to earn our trust because of how they've been. But yeah, man, I think we can. I think we can continue to win some ball games, man. And I'm just ready for this Sunday. We can't take Jacksonville lightly. At this point, we can't take nobody lightly. We can't underestimate no team, whether they're a good team or a bad team. We got to take it one game at a time, and we have to do it the right way. And that's running the football and using the running game to set up play action. So I think we're gonna be fine, man. I want to know how you feel about it. Do you agree? And how you feel about it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to address this real quick. Steve-O, you were getting a little personal, all right? I'm just poking fun at the Jags fan. I actually know a Jags fan. He's flying in from Arizona to meet me, and we're going to go to the game together. But I know that they exist. I just like to poke a little fun. And I appreciate ultimately you for tapping in. Genuinely, whether you're a fan of the Jags, whoever, doesn't really matter. You're showing love, and I appreciate that. I just like to razz you a little bit. But yeah, I'm with you. Listen, this game here was exactly what we thought this team would be. Hey, we got another Jags fan. Is what we thought this team would be going into the season. This is what we all expected. I don't know what your season prediction was, Sersky. I personally had the 49ers winning 12 games, right? So when they started out 2-0, I'm like, okay, this is what I expected. Green Bay, I thought, was a game. Now, it went very different because there was a lot of injuries, especially to those running backs. But I thought that was a game where they would put everybody on notice again. They would come out, they'd run the ball 30 plus times. Hopefully, at that time, I thought Mostert would be healthy and they'd be able to put up 200 plus rushing yards on him. Unfortunately, that game didn't go like that. They still had a chance to win. They didn't win, and then everything was downhill from there. So What we saw on Monday is what we kind of all, maybe it was optimistic thinking, but we all kind of expected that a little bit going into the season. So it was good to see that it still exists, that it's not like it's something they don't have in their bag. But you're right. It all comes down to the coaching. It all comes down to the game planning. Yes, there have been some execution issues, but that doesn't mean that you get completely away from the running game. And that's what they've done at times. And it's been a problem.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And, like I said, our identity is that run game. I mean, when you look at Mitchell, man, Mitchell is getting like 4 to 5 yards a pop. Even when the defensive line is stacked, Mitchell still find ways to get yards. So it's obvious. Kyle made the 49 made the right pick in getting Mitchell. I would like to see Sermon out there. I don't know what's going on with Sermon, but from what I look, every time Sermon's in the game, he does good. So I don't know why he's not in the game. We'll see later on down the line. But I mean, the running game, it's working. It's just Kyle just have to stick with it. I mean, he stuck with it in 2019. You know, I know we had some issues in 2020 with a lot of injuries and stuff, and he wasn't good. I get it, but you know, that's no excuse not to just stay who you are. You know, and that's being a ram it down your throat in the trenches type of team, man. So if they can just stay consistent with it, man, I think we still win. I think we can make it to the playoffs. I think we still have a chance. And if we play like the way we played Monday night, man, I don't see why we can't get in. So it's all about consistency at this point and being smart. So
I feel it. I definitely feel it. Two things before you get out of here. One, give me a score prediction, and two, let us know where we can find you on YouTube.
Sure. I think we're gonna win 31-17. I expect the 49ers to run the football like they did Monday night. Hopefully, Jimmy can have a good game like he did this past Monday night. And I think we should be fine. Play consistent fundamental defense, play good defense against those guys. Trevor Lawrence, a rookie, so we need to get on him early. We need to shake him up early. So that's something that's very important. And you can catch me, man, on Real Talk, Niner Talk. That's Real Talk, then 9ER Talk, Real Talk, Niner Talk. We come on Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. Check us out, man. It's hosted by Don Q, myself, Sersky, Silverado Kev, Judah Great, and cousin Dave G. So y'all check us out, man. Every Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central Time. Check us out. We speak that Real Talk, Niner Talk, man. It may be some things you like, and maybe some things you don't like, but we tell you the truth because we love you, man. Just tap in whenever y'all can, man. Subscribe, and hey, man, shout out to you, Jason, man. Y'all like and subscribe to Jesse's Last Second Sports, man. He speak that real too, man. He knows the knowledge of the game, and he brings that heat every time he comes on, man. So shout out to your channel. And let's get it, man. Let's rock out Sunday, man.
Absolutely. I want to say something real quick about their channel before he gets out of here. It's a whole different vibe over there. Let me tell you, it's like if you watch 49er content, there's a lot of good content creators. They're also really good. It's a whole different ballgame over there. So if you haven't tapped in with them, I suggest doing so. They bring something very, very different to their channel, and it's a lot of fun. So go check in with those guys. Also, really good guys as well. So if nothing else, you like Sersky, you know Silverado, Kevin, some of those other guys. So make sure you show them some love. Sersky, my man, we'll talk on Spaces. I appreciate the love, and hopefully the Niners can get a win this weekend, all right?
Yes, sir. Anytime, man. Thank you for having me on, bro.
Absolutely, man. Later.
Later.
All right, we're going to go to Kevin, who's been in and out of the chat. I'm glad you were able to stick around. Feel bad for making you wait so long, but I appreciate you waiting. What's up, brother?
Yo, what's going on, Jess?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm the one who came in your inbox and told you about those parties, man.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Good. And I said that I was doing the call in not Tuesday but Thursday. Okay, bet. That's perfect.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Yes. In fact, hey, here's the other thing. I had a few people hit me up in the last couple of days asking if I knew what was going on, and I was able to forward them all the stuff that you gave to me. So that way, we'll get more people there. So I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And I was just basically calling in, man, to say I look forward to seeing you and all the 49ers faithful at this game this weekend.
Absolutely.
I'm going to be leaving early in the morning, so I'm going to be there from Friday to all the way to Sunday. Hopefully the 49ers can pull this one out. Hopefully, that game Monday night, they have turned everything around. And I'm just looking forward to meeting you and all the faithful, man, and just having a blast, man.
Yeah, I am too, man. Thank you so much for getting that info over to me. It sounds like there's going to be a lot of Niner fans there, and I'm really excited to meet some people and just have a lot of fun. I'm not going to be there till Saturday morning. My boy arrives in at around 11:15 from Virginia. And so I'm going to be driving from Tampa to Jacksonville. I'll leave around 7 in the morning. I'll swoop him up. We'll go back to the hotel, freshen up, and then we'll hit that first spot at
Okay.
around 1 or so, kick it, and then we'll be back again at 6 until the party shuts down. Definitely,
That's
and then we'll
what's
be
up.
there again Sunday. So we will definitely catch up with each other. I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you giving me that info, and I'm really excited to see you, man.
No problem, man. You know what I mean? I just want to say, keep bringing the real heat. Keep bringing the heat. You got one of the best shows on the, you know what I'm saying? You got one of the best 49er shows out there.
Thank you, man.
Keep it
I appreciate
straight.
that. Means
You
the
bring
world
a lot
to
of
me. Thank you.
logic. You bring a lot of logic. And a whole lot of people don't like a lot of logic, man. Just
That's
keep bringing
factual.
that heat. You just keep bringing that heat, man. And like I've said, I just call in to say I look forward to hanging out with you and all the faithful this weekend. I'm hyped. I'm ready. Hopefully the 49ers can pull this one out. Not an ugly game, but hopefully they can pull out another game like they did the other night.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kevin, the fact that A, you gave me the info you did, and B, you just waited a good hour off and on to get on just to say that, I owe you a beer. So make sure you come seek me out when we get there. First one's on me, all
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. And I will have that grill Sunday morning.
All right, hey, there we go. I can't wait for it, man. I'm looking forward to it. Kevin, you have a safe
All right,
trip down
Jesse.
there, and I'll
All
see you
right.
Saturday, all right?
All right. And all you 49er faithful out there, be safe. And whoever is coming, if you're listening, let's come out and have some fun, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. We'll see
All right.
you. All right, brother. That's cool, man. He said he was going to try to call in Tuesday. I told him the show was on Thursday. He made it in. He waited a hell of a long time just to spread some love. That was cool, man. That was really cool. What's up, Chanel? How you been?
I'm doing good, Jesse. Thank you for taking my call.
Of course, man. Thank you for hanging tight. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to say, that's our identity right there. Like how we played on Monday, is run the ball. That's clearly our identity, and we have to keep doing that because, like Sersky said, Jimmy's not trusted back there to throw the deep ball. Like you can't trust him throwing it at all. Like I kind of get scared. Like I close my eyes every time he drops back and throws it. So we should be running the ball 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 times. Jet sweeps left, jet sweeps right. Hell, use Debo as a running back. You have to. You can't use him as a receiver because of Jimmy. Jimmy can only throw short passes. And I expect that every game is to run the ball. Keep running it, keep running it, keep running it. That's all we could do. And that helps our defense too.
Yeah, of course it does. Jamal, no, I'm not going to any other games unless they make the playoffs and play in Tampa, then I'll definitely be there. And Trent brings up a good question. So Chanel, obviously you bring up a good point that they got to continue to run the ball, pound the rock. Trent says, what if the run isn't working? I think that there's not a scenario that's possible. To be real with you, I don't care what the fronts are that they're seeing. I don't care what is thrown their way. When you have weapons like Jeff Wilson Jr., Mitchell, Sermon, Debo, Ayuk, Juszczyk, and the creativity of Shanahan when he's on his game and he's fully in his bag, I don't think that there's really a team that can outright stop them from running the ball. Can you limit them? Sure. Can you stop them? I don't believe so.
Right. And, if we start throwing it, we're going to get a lot of interceptions. I admit, like, if Jimmy drops back and we start throwing the ball, it's going to look like that Miami Dolphins game last year. It really is. It's going to get ugly. And we don't have that quarter. Trey Lance could throw, but he's probably not going to play until next year. So we got to completely run the ball. we got to jet sweep. We got to use Debo as a running back, which I kind of hate because it limits him as a wide receiver. But it's good for us because, we keep pounding the rock. That's our identity. We have to do that.
Yeah, of course we do. And we've got a Jags fan in here. He's talking about the run defense is much better. You guys held it. No doubt about that. If you go look at the Jags' last 3 games defensively, they've done a hell of a job really all the way around. So, again, I definitely don't think this is going to be a walk in the park. I do expect the 49ers to win, but I don't think it's going to be super easy. And they do. They have a good all-around defense, not just a run defense. So, but I still think, that said, the 49ers can run on anybody.
Right, any given Sunday. So I mean, they beat the Bills, but it was a low scoring game. They're a pretty good team to watch out for.
9-6.
They don't have the
beat
record. Like they don't have the good record, but they're a pretty good team for beating them. So we got to watch out. We can't take every game lightly. Like Sersky said, one game at a time. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris H tapping in. He says 49ers 38-10, bold prediction. Again, Chris is the one for all the call-in shows. He's the one that makes the thumbnails. So if you love the thumbnails of this show, and I know you do because they're hella dope, Chris makes them all. So shout out to Chris. And 38-10, I'll take it, man. I'll definitely take it. Yeah, you're right. Listen, the Bills were held to 6 points with Josh frickin' Allen. Now, they're not the running team that the 49ers are, but
Right.
Josh Allen is really dynamic. That offense is dynamic. And the fact that they were able to hold that team to 6 points, even in an off week, that's impressive. This team's defense should not be taken lightly.
And they also got a good pass rusher over there, Josh Allen.
Oh, extremely good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I think he came out the same year as Nick Bosa. He's good.
Yeah, he did. There was a lot. I remember there was some people that had that debate. Should he go above Bosa, right? And luckily, the 49ers made the right decision there. But Allen is a really good football player. Really good football player. I think he's a better pass rusher than Chase Young. So, and Chase Young was like the guy coming out the next year. So, or, a couple years later or what have you. So I would take Josh Allen over Chase Young.
Thank you for my call, Jesse. You have a good night, and hit those likes for him.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Absolutely. You have a good night, man. All right, let me switch this over real quick, and then we'll wrap up here. Get through some of your final comments. Close this out. All right, what do we got? What's up, CG? How you doing, man? I was on his show last night. Good to see you tapping in. Josh Allen, certainly legit. Chris H says fans can underestimate teams. It's the 49ers players who can't. Yes, that's a good point. And you know what, Chris? Here's what I want to say to that is they addressed that pretty much to a T across the board. Shanahan addressed that. You heard Jimmy Ward address that. You heard Kittle address that. And I believe Fred Warner addressed it. They all know. They know that this is one of those games that absolutely can be a trap game, right? This is a game where you're traveling cross country. You just had a big emotional win on national TV. You've now got a short week. You're traveling cross country to play an early game against a team that you should beat, quite frankly. These are the types of games that teams can lose. Look at what happened to Tampa. They just lost to Washington. Nobody saw that coming, right? Especially coming off of, I believe, a bye week. That was a little wild. The Jaguars just held the Bills to 6 freaking points 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, you're right. We can underestimate, and it's happening. It's crazy how quickly people forget that we were just saying that there was no chance that they lose to Arizona with that depleted team. And look at how that turned out. So, very short memories here in the fan base. The players cannot have a short memory when it comes to losing a game that they should have won. And quite frankly, it sounds to me that they are fully aware of it and they're ready to go. They know that they can have 0 setbacks. So anyways, that's a very good point. Ken says all the Grant Cohn channel subscribers should also subscribe to Jess channel. That'd be fantastic. I would love to get to 40,000 subs, right? But slow and steady, we'll get there. I appreciate you for tapping in, and just keep shouting us out. We'll get there eventually for sure. I bet you the Niners have a letdown. It can happen. It definitely can happen. I'm not saying that it will. I don't think that it will, but it certainly could happen. No doubt about that. Tommy says, who is the defensive coordinator for Jacksonville? I don't know. I don't even know, to be real with you. Somebody knows. There's some Jags fans in here and some knowledgeable football people that know. I don't pay attention to the Jags. Jags also gave up 37 points to Texans. That's true. That's true. But I got to go off of what I've seen from them lately. And what I've seen from them lately is a really good defensive effort. So I think the Jags are better now. The Niners are not good on short weeks. I don't think a lot of teams are good on short weeks. Yeah, the Bills and Packers look like crap in 1 week too. Yeah, of course. It can happen to anybody at any time. Santa Clara Sims are done. All right. I'm not going to pull you up. The name's funny, but he says Jacksonville just signed Colt McCoy. The Santa Clara Sims are done. Hey, we'll see. We'll see. Looks like Jamal and Chris giving each other some love in the chat. Good to see. I love to see that. Anybody peep how Tyson Campbell has been this year? I haven't paid a lot of attention to Campbell, to be real with you, so not really sure. Taryn says Josh Allen had an interception, sack, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery against Josh Allen. So that was kind of crazy. Yes. Jose's tapping in, says he loves the show. Jose, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you tapping in, and I'm glad that you love the show. Guys, I got to get out of here. I got to be up in less than 6 hours to get my kids to school, and then I got to be to work myself. I appreciate all the love. If you haven't yet, hit the like button. Please do so. And also subscribe, hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. I personally will be back on Tuesday with Jason Aponte, 9 p.m. Eastern, and then we're going to do the call portion after that. So we will get back to our regularly scheduled program. Look forward to seeing you all there. Everybody that is going to Jacksonville, whether you're a 49er fan or a Jacksonville fan, if you see me, say what's up. I would love to meet all you guys. And I'm just looking forward to a great weekend. So everybody have a fantastic night. Stay blessed. I appreciate each and every one of you. And until next time, peace.